Burundi is a small country located in eastern Africa next to Rwanda and Tanzania, and it's one of the poorest countries in the world, especially struggling to rebuild after a brutal 7-year civil war that claimed over 300,000 lives. While rebuilding a nation is a daunting task, it's not impossible, especially when you focus on one child at a time. In March of 2012, Fr Emmanuel Ndaygamiye, a Burundian Catholic priest and director of the Council for Education and Development, invited a group of street boys who beg outside Holy Spirit Church, where he celebrates Mass, to come to his home for something to eat, to play in the garden, and just to get to know one another. The boys were amazed by the attention and continued to visit with Fr Emmanuel on Sundays after Mass. With each visit, they've been working together to establish a small community. The boys elected Vianney as their leader, and he addressed them after the election with his vision of how the group will work together. "We will work together, and I will work for solidarity and reconciliation in the team. What we will win, we will share." They named their group Team St. Jean and adopted the motto, "Love in Action." With the passing of each Sunday, the group grew in depth and size until it reached around 20 boys, ranging in age from 6 to 14 years old. Rebuilding society takes time, patience, and plenty of love. On May 6th, the boys gathered to watch a short video about composting and the value of growing your own vegetables. Fr Emmanuel instructed the children to each bring a bag of vegetable and fruit waste or worms so that they could start their own compost pile. In making the pile, the boys learned the importance of making sure there's no bad material in the compost, such as plastic, batteries, and other environmental contaminants that are commonly found in trash heaps in Burundi. They also learned how to make seed pots from scrap paper and plant tomato seeds. Fr Emmanuel helped each boy to write his name on a strip of cardboard to place in their tomato seed pots so that they would be able to identify the pots that each planted later as the seeds germinate and begin to grow. On May 20th was a particularly exciting day because the boys could see how their tomato plants had sprouted. They also learned how worms break down the garbage in the compost and naturally fertilize the soil by creating castings. In addition to learning and working to develop a kitchen garden, the boys looked forward each Sunday to playing football. They played their first game in June, but not without problems. So during a halftime break, Fr Emmanuel asked them to reflect on how well the play had gone. After discussing the matter, the boys decided they needed to elect someone to be in charge of discipline and keeping to the rules. So they elected Alain as second in command. A young graphic designer in Poland, Ewa Monko, who had heard about the work of Team St. Jean, volunteered to create a logo for the team, and her friend helped to print the T-shirts. On the front of the shirts is inscribed Egypt Yohane Mweranda, Team St. Jean in Kirundi, encircled by supporting arms that form a heart shape, and on the back of the T-shirts is the phrase Love in Action, with reference to 1 John chapter 3, verses 18. "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Of course, the boys were thrilled with the shirts because now they look like a team. 3 Dutch volunteers joined Fr Emmanuel in July to teach Team St. Jean the ABCs using an English-language computer game. The boys learned quickly after only a couple of tries, and next will learn to build simple words in English and how to count and add. Learning English is important for the future of Burundi, since in order to successfully trade with countries like Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, Burundians will need to learn English since these are all Anglophone countries. Volunteering is at the heart of community building. Volunteering promotes trust and reciprocity, and by organizing these street youth to volunteer to help build kitchen gardens, they also learn the responsibilities of community and civic involvement, along with practical skills needed for survival. There are numerous opportunities for foreign volunteers to help by sharing their know-how and experience, and Fr Emmanuel is leading an effort to construct a discipleship center in Bujumbura, Maison St, where Eucharistic liturgies, prayer, teaching, and simple meals can be shared with local Burundians who want to learn new skills. From this base in Bujumbura, volunteers can then go to parishes in the Bururi Diocese or elsewhere in the country to teach and help expand Team St. Jean into rural communities. And for Ania Żarnecka, another Polish volunteer, the boys have sent their thanks for her help in making this short film of Team St. Jean.
Thank you, Ania!